Hello, in this video we are going to review dividing numbers, or dividing decimals using long division. So we're going to find each quotient. Number one is 73 and 8/10 divided by 6. To show my computation work, I'm going to skip a few lines and write my 73 and 8/10 divided by 6. Now, whenever I do my long division, I like to draw in lines keeping my place values in place so that I don't make smaller spelling mistakes that most people tend to make when doing long division. Once I have set up my problem, I have my 73 and 8/10 divided by 6 with the long division. My place values are lined up, and I've taken my decimal point and I've brought it straight up. That is going to be the only difference between dividing with decimals and dividing with, I guess, whole numbers, non-decimals, is that you take your decimal and bring it straight up. Once you do that, it's just like dividing decimals. So let's start. 6 going into 7. 6 can go into 7. 6 goes into 7 once. So 6 times 1 is 6. And when you subtract, you get the number 1. Whenever you subtract, you want to get a number that is smaller than what you're dividing with. Since 1 is smaller than 6, we're good. Then you bring down the number from the next place value. We'll bring down to 3, and we have 6 into 13. 6 goes into 13 twice because 6 times 2 is 12. And again, when we subtract 13 minus 12, we get 1, and we get 1, which is smaller than 6. When subtracting, you always want a number smaller than what you're dividing with. But 1 is too small, so we go to the next place value. We bring down that number, 18, and we say, how many times can 6 go into 18? 6 goes into 18 3 times, and 6 times 3 is 18, giving you 0 when you subtract. When you get 0 is how you know you're done and that you're using a terminating decimal. So 73 and 8/10 divided by 6 was 12 and 3/10, and you box in your answer. To show your work algebraically, all you need to do is put your answer right underneath the division sign. So let's do another example with a 2-digit number. So we have 58 and 1/10 divided by 14. And when I go to do this problem, we have, let me put in my lines for my placeholders. 14 into 5. But 14 can't go in the 5. 5 is too small. So we'll do 14 into 58. Now, to do this problem, you're not expected to know your 14 times tables. So you do your 14 times tables on the side. For example, 14 times 2 is 28. That's too small. 14 times 3 is 42. Still looks like it's too small. 14 times 4 is 56, which is just under 58. So that one looks good. We'll do 14, and our 4 goes right above the 58. 14 times 4 is 56, and we subtract 58 minus 56 is 2, which is smaller than 14, so we're good. But to keep going, we bring down the number from the next place value. We'll bring down the 1 and have 14 into 21. 14 will go into 21 once, because 14 times 2 was too big, it was 28. And 14 times 1 is 14. And again, we subtract. 21 minus 14 is 7, which is smaller than 14. But when we go to bring down the number from the next place value, there's nothing there. So that's what we'll do. Nothing is represented by a 0. So I'll add a 0 because there's nothing there. I'll bring down that 0 that's in that placeholder. And then 14 into 70. Well, I'll look at what I already have. These are all too small. 14 times 4 is 56. I'll try 14 times 5, and that actually is 70. 14 times 5 is 70, and we subtract and get 0. And when you get 0, that's how you know you're done. It's a terminating decimal. Now, I did forget one part, but I can always go back when I'm done. And my decimal is right here. For the 58 and 1/10, I need to bring that decimal straight up because the decimal is not actually part of any of the actual long division. You just take care of the decimal in the beginning, if you remember, at the end when you're done. So the answer is 4 and 1500ths. I'll put that right underneath the division sign and box in my answer. And that is how you divide decimals. You set it up like your normal division problems. You bring your decimal point straight up and then just divide.